Welcome back to Aslan Motorsports. I'm Hunt Stevenson. As you can see, the inside of this beauty is in the workings. I have one of my workers here, Sakamoto, sir. How are you doing? I'll let him take it away.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Well, I realize that it's been years since I've done anything to this channel, any video. I've done nothing. I have done stuff to the car, just minimal, but I didn't really go into detail on some stuff. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to actually start posting videos that help anybody who's doing Fox body restores and maybe want to learn what I've done. I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but it looks good from my house. So we'll start back here. If you're going to do a battery relocate from the front, which is what I did because I'm doing, trying to make sure that the engine bay is totally smoothed out, free of all that stuff so that it looks very clean. So this is one of the biggest things you can do. Now, when it comes to what I have ordered here and installed, your local track regulations are going to want you to bolt this case through the frame of the car, which is what I've done. These all threads, if you come over here, sir, these all threads do run down through the frame of the car itself and the unibody on this side of the gas tank. The enclosure is set up for venting. I don't believe I need it with the battery that I have, so that's not a big deal. So what I've done is I ordered all this cable. I would have to go look up where I got the cable from. If you're interested, hit me up in the comments and I'll try to get. I've got a book of everything that I've ever done, so I know exactly where I ordered it and how much and where from. I'll look it up. But these cables, I just need to support this one a little better. They go over here to a 4-pole switch. This bracket, we essentially just made here at the house, and then we welded it in. And then this bracket here, we welded it onto the custom made bracket that we did. So we're essentially switching from outside here, this is also a track regulation that you can turn everything off via outside the car. So for a 4-pole, this will kill the battery source to the motor and the power to the alternator all in one whack. So I have used copper lugs, crimped everything, and put on the heat shrink, and then ran everything as best I could out of the way of anything. Looks like I need to put some tie wraps on here. But if you get this view coming this way, you'll see where I've run it up over the wheel well, trying to keep it out of the way of anything. So let's move to the inside. Moving to the inside, I have all this Dynamat put down because I wanted the bottom of the car, and I did the entire thing. It's underneath this carpet. I insulated so that I could reduce heat and noise, and that actually added some weight. That stuff's pretty heavy. I would say upwards of 40, 50 pounds of Dynamat, but that's okay. Something's wrong with Hunt Stevenson. What's going on?
We're good over here, Sakamoto.
Why don't you return to that side of the car?
Absolutely. We'll do that.
Yeah. So what I've done is I've brought the cables up over this wheel well. They're resting on here. I just need to work on getting these strapped back down. And then underneath this fresh new carpet install that I've done, the wires just run down this way out of any situation that would nick them. They're tie wrapped together, nice and tight. Let's move to this side. So to give you any indication on how long I've had this car and it's been sitting, yeah, that ought to tell you. So those feeds come in. I put this insulation on here that kind of pinches onto the frame. I'm able to point, thanks. If you need to find out where this stuff is, I can put that in the description as well. But that just kept me from nicking any of the wires, and it looks better so that cables don't nick against the frame of the car in any spots. But what I did, and I don't know if a lot of people are going to have heartache over this. I thought about this for a while. Some people had different ideas. I went ahead and went with my idea because I like those the most. But I put the starter solenoid in here. So the leads come from the battery to here, but some of them bypass this and come into this mega fuse. This setup is actually what is used in the American Auto Wire kit because I did have that installed at one time and I took all that out. I don't know if I went through that story or not. I may have to return to that story in the next video, but I actually went back with the same exact setup when it comes to the mega fuses in parallel. Even though I'm not running the American Auto Wire setup anymore, I'm actually literally have gone back to the factory engine harness. I believe I'll have to explain that scenario in a different video as well. But moving on from here is where it goes through the fuses and travels. If it's the lead going to the alternator, it actually travels through this voided section here for the windshield wipers and comes out on that side. And that's what would be going to my starter and my alternator. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
You were still filming?
No.
Okay. Okay, so I took off that fender temporarily. It wasn't bolted on, so no worries. So under here, as I came through the tunnel, the voided tunnel from the windshield wipers, this is my main feed for my starter, which is not here yet. So this cable is actually just long enough to reach. Then inside this tunnel here, I have my lead, which I have just taped up. This is insulated for inside the engine bay, and this is what goes to the alternator. So I've taped it up so in case I'm not thinking and I turn the battery power on, I didn't want to charge the alternator if it's not actually in use. So that's why it's just taped up.
Can you have my
Okay, can you come over here?
muddy skip?